Good morning. Can I ask you a few quick questions?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Sure, why not?
So to start off, what is your name and your course?
My name is Krina. I'm from Bachelor of Design in Creative Media.
Hello, I'm Kimberly and I'm a first year design student.
What do you know about corruption, especially in an academic setting in Malaysia?
To me, it's when power or resources are misused for personal gain. It could also happen in many places such as businesses and even schools.
Well, basically, corruption is something like an abuse of power for personal gain. But I guess in context of higher education, it would be something like unfair grading, nepotism when it comes to admission, and many more.
That's a decent understanding. So from the scale from 1 to 10, how prevalent do you think corruption is Malaysia's higher education institutions?
I'd say 5 out of 10. It doesn't always happen, but the stories I've heard always make me wonder how common it is.
I would say it's like a solid 6. I've never personally experienced it, but I have heard some stories left and right.
Interesting. Do you mind sharing a story you've heard?
Of course. So this happens to a close friend of mine actually. So basically what happened was before coming to Taylor's, she applied for another university for their full scholarship. The program was very competitive and had a lot of applicants, but in my opinion, she was well qualified and had excellent grades and extracurricular achievement. Sadly, she was rejected of course, but another applicant who has less impressive qualification was accepted. Later on, she discovered through an acquaintance that she was related to a high-ranking official in that university. So it was pretty clear that she was accepted because of personal connection rather than the actual merit. She was pretty heartbroken and frustrated after that because she worked really hard to get that spot.
Do you mind sharing a story you've heard?
Yes, I remember a conversation I had with a friend who is a student from another university. She told me that her department had applied for a grant aimed at upgrading their laboratory facilities, something that they were really looking forward to as the labs were outdated and in desperate need of improvements. The grant was meant to enhance their learning environment and provide better resources for their students. However, most of the money, instead of going towards the promised lab upgrades, it went into organizing a fancy conference. The conference had top-tier speakers and lavish arrangements.
So what happened after that?
Well, months have passed since the conference and the labs still remain in the same condition, which leaves the students and staffs there a little disillusioned and frustrated.
Thank you for sharing that story. Finally, what kind of reforms do you think should be implemented to combat the academic corruption in Malaysia?
I think transparency in fund allocation would be best in this case. I also think that every university should establish an anonymous reporting system for students and staffs to report on corruption cases without the fear of retaliation.
Well, personally, I think there should be a better transparency in the admission process, as in whoever gets in or not can't be just a sole decision made by just the head or dean, or maybe adopting more consistent approaches like doing standardized presentation of admission information and streamlining the application process.
That's some valuable insights. Any final thoughts do you like to add for the audience?
Just be honest in life. Don't cheat because lying never gets you far.
I think don't be afraid to speak up, especially if you're doing the right thing.
Thank you for your time. It's a pleasure speaking to you.
Likewise, thank you for having me.